Most people don't stay poor because of one big mistake. It's not usually one bad decision that ruins everything, and it's rarely something obvious that they can easily point to and fix. Instead, it's something much quieter, something that doesn't look dangerous, something that feels normal, even responsible, and that's what makes it powerful. Because the habits that keep people stuck are not loud. They don't feel like problems. They feel like everyday life. And over time, those small, unnoticed patterns quietly shape everything. Most financial habits are not consciously chosen. They are absorbed from family, from environment, from what you see around you every day. How people spend, how they think about money, what they prioritize. All of it becomes normal before you ever stop to question it. And because it feels normal, it feels right. For example, if you grow up seeing money being spent as soon as it comes in, that behavior doesn't feel reckless to you. It feels expected. It feels like the natural flow of life. Earn, spend, repeat. And even when you start earning your own money, you carry that pattern with you, often without realizing it. You don't pause to ask, is this helping me move forward? You simply continue what already feels familiar. And that's how habits become invisible. The most dangerous habits are not dramatic. They are small, repeated decisions that seem harmless in the moment, but powerful over time. Spending a little more than necessary, delaying important financial decisions, choosing comfort over long-term thinking. None of these feel like major mistakes. In fact, they often feel justified. You tell yourself, it's not that much. It won't make a big difference. I'll figure it out later. And in isolation, each decision really doesn't seem significant. But the problem is not the individual action, it's the pattern. Because when something is repeated consistently, it stops being small. It becomes a direction. And over time, that direction determines where you end up. Not suddenly, but gradually. One of the strongest habits that keeps people stuck is the habit of choosing comfort over growth. Not because they don't want more, but because comfort feels safe. It feels controlled. It feels predictable. And every time you choose what is easy over what requires effort or uncertainty, you reinforce that pattern. You train yourself to stay within a certain range, a range where things feel manageable but never truly expand. Now imagine someone who earns more money but continues to make decisions based on comfort. They upgrade their lifestyle. They make life easier. They remove friction. But they don't build anything beyond that. So even though their situation improves on the surface, their structure stays the same. And that means their results stay within the same range. Another silent habit is delay, putting things off, not because you don't care, but because it doesn't feel urgent. You tell yourself there's time, that you'll start later, that you'll figure it out when it becomes necessary. And this applies to many things. Learning how money works, making investment decisions, building something outside your main income. These are things that don't demand immediate action, so they are easy to postpone. But time doesn't pause with you. While you delay, the opportunity to grow compounds or disappears. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to change direction. Because now, you're not just starting late, you're starting with more responsibilities, more commitments, and less flexibility. Breaking these patterns does not require a dramatic moment. It requires awareness, the ability to step back and see your habits clearly, to question what feels normal, to recognize that not all comfortable patterns are useful, because once you see it, you can change it, not all at once, but gradually. You begin to make slightly different decisions. You begin to think a little further ahead. You begin to act with more intention. And over time, those small shifts create a different pattern, a pattern that leads somewhere else. The habits that shape your financial life are not always obvious. They don't announce themselves. They don't feel dangerous. But they are consistent, and consistency is what makes them powerful. So the real question is not whether you are making big mistakes. It's whether the small things you do every day are quietly keeping you in the same place,